All right, so today, well, you're actually going to see cutting footage from two different cutting sessions. We were playing with the Alcohol G366. So the first cutting session we did with it, the chain was subpar, and today it's all sharpened up and good to go. In fact, I've actually done two cutting sessions now, one yesterday and one today. So basically I've been playing with the tune, really working on finding the sweet spot, you know what I mean? Finding that sweet spot in the tune. And I think we're good to go. I honestly, I don't think I need to do anything else now. So this may be the last cutting video of this saw until Sawfest, because I just, I don't want to push it too much. And it's running perfectly, it's starting easy, everything. So I think we're gonna leave it as is, you know what I mean? We're gonna move on to the next project at this point. But here's my findings. Well, I'll let you see I'll let you watch these cuts, and then I will come in and I'll tell you what my tack results are through all of this. I actually measured the woods because the diameter wood is going to play a factor here because of the way we're racing. I will explain that here after the cutting, because there's rules, there's guidelines and everything, and we want to take that kind of stuff into consideration here. So I'll talk about all that here after your cutting clips. Alrighty, so let's watch her make some cuts. All right, so I measured both ends of this log. The one side, the skinny side, is sitting at like 9.25 inches, and the fat side is sitting around 10.5 inches. Now, when you go to Sawfest or whatever, they put out a sheet that kind of tells you the rules. It's kind of like a simple sheet. So basically for this particular saw, they kind of list you all the guidelines you got to follow, and it's basically an open class. You can do whatever you want to your build. You can run any fuel you want. You can run any chain you want. All sorts of stuff. But down at the bottom, they tell you what to expect as far as what wood you're going to be cutting. And it's not species. They don't list the species of it, but they do tell us that for this saw to expect to cut an 8x8 piece of wood. So we are doing better on the smaller end than we are on the big end. That's because, she's pulling more RPM on the smaller stuff. So for example, on the smaller stuff, 13,400, I'd say, is the most common RPM that I saw. I mean, there were times when it hit 13,800. 13,500 was extremely common as well. 13.6 was common as well. But I would say the high number that I was seeing was 13.8. The low number was 13.2. So it was staying in there. But I'd say the most common numbers that I saw were 13.2, 13.4, 13.5, 13.6. Those are probably the most common numbers I saw in all the cutting. But it did. It had times where it hit 13.8, and it had times where it hit 13.2. I think part of that had to do with me, just how I pushed it through the cut. You know what I mean? Because I'm not taking it easy today. You're seeing how I'm going to run this thing through the wood at the races. So, that's what it's cutting in. That's how it's going to run whenever I'm at Sawfest. I'm not taking it easy on it or nothing. That's the actual true RPM we're going to be cutting at. Now on the big end, though, just that little bit in an inch or so, we lost RPM. So she was hovering almost exactly 13,000 in the big end. It got down to around 12.8, 12.7. It would get to 13.2, but I would say right around 13,000 on the big end. So as the wood gets bigger, she does pull RPM out of it. Now part of that has to do with my chain. This chain is sharpened, it is square, and it's pretty freaking dang aggressive. Will it bite me in the butt later? I don't know. But that's how I'm going to run my chain right there. All I'm going to do is basically go over it one more time, make sure any little imperfections that I might have put into that are gone, because I did it by hand, So I'm going to go over it one more time, make sure any little imperfections are gone, and then that'll be it. It'll be ready for the race. Personally, my personal opinion on this build, I think the saw could use more torque. So we built it with 40 thousandths of squish. I think for next season, we will probably make some modifications. We will probably do another head for it. We might do a crank mod, build like a full circle crank, and see if we can get this thing to stretch out above 14. That'd be kind of cool. See if we can get her to get above 14 grand. Custom head, custom crank, all that stuff. But for this race, this is the way we're going to run it. I do think it could use more torque though. As the wood gets bigger, she's going to pull her down. Plain and simple. I could make up for some of that by not running a chain that's so hungry. this chain is, I mean, this is about as hungry as I'd ever make a square chain. So, I mean, it's literally, it's at that point where I'd probably never make a square chain this hungry for anything ever. And that's kind of what we got on here. I can get away with that because I'm on square. You know what I mean? So take it for what it is. You know what I mean? But that's where we're at. She's running good. We're gonna race it just like this. Alrighty, so hey, we'll catch you in the next one. Later.